Hi, thank you so much for joining me for today's process video. And today I'm documenting more pictures from our trip to New York last December. And again, it's pictures of us at the Tavern on the Green. But this is me and Ross drinking our drinks rather than the kids, which is what I did last time if you watched my previous video. So again, I printed the photos in 3x4 and I'm just matting them. I've decided today that I wanted to grab myself some of the willow ephemera stackers from 49er Market, which is what you can see on the left hand side there, and the packaging was just too pretty to leave, so I'm going to use that to map the two photos. I realised that when you print 3x4 one of them prints bigger, and I was busy distressing the edges and then got them mixed up, so I just wanted to double check which was the bigger photo before sticking them onto the mats, or they would have been all wrong. So you can see there I want to stagger them in the middle of the page, and I'm going to build things up and around. Doing another vertical layout is definitely my favourite way to create a page. So I'm going to build everything in the centre, and then I am going to move it out the way so that I can add some mixed media. So I've got these ephemera stackers from Willow. I've also got the Grove laser cut elements, which is a different green, and then I pulled in my Spectrum Gardenia just to add some extra bits and pieces. I really wanted to create a green layout with a hint of red. You can probably see just behind my head, well I've got my hand on it now, but behind my head there were some gorgeous wreaths, Christmas wreaths hanging from the ceilings of the tavern. So I wanted to bring in those colours into this photo just to get the mood and feel of the place. So I've used one of the Hey Little Magpie dies there to die cut a piece of Spectrum Gardenia paper into a Viewmaster reel, and that lace that I've got going down the centre is also from the Gardenia collection, and then the black notebook edge piece is from one of the Hey Little Magpie dies. I just cut a scrap of black cardstock to create that notebook border. So you can see I'm just bringing more and more pieces in from that willow pack to create layers behind my photos. Just playing around really and seeing what I like. I love the fact that it's got all the different tones of green and also those greys. They work beautifully with this photo and really give me the tone of what I'm looking for to document this story. So I cut this ticket in half because I know only a tiny bit is going to show, and it's good to save the other bit for another day. And then I've got this tab piece, and I am just going to write Tavern on the Green on there towards the end. I just needed somewhere small to put my title. I am going to do another page of the Ross and the kids outside Tavern on the Green and some of the pictures of the interior. So I'll have 3 pictures in total of this one little moment of our story when we were in New York. But I've got a big album that I'm filling. I really wanted to document everything from this trip because it was a very special one. That said, we are going back again this year, so I'm sure another album will be created. So I want to get as many of these photos documented before we go and the stories start to merge into one another. That's the danger, isn't it? When you go to the same place twice, you forget what happened when. But hopefully the photos that I take will remind me. So you can see there I grabbed another piece from my Gardenia collection and backed that Viewmaster just to bring that red in a little bit more. Like I say, I wanted it to be predominantly green, but just a little bit of grey, of red peeking in, and then of course the grey just to offset all those different greens. It just works perfectly. So I'm starting to glue things together, but like I say, I do want to add some mixed media to the background. So I'm trying to remember that I need to make this as a matte. Doesn't work very well. I do end up gluing something to the background. I think my mind is all over the place at the moment. We're having carpets fitted upstairs. It's half term. It's been half term for 2 weeks, so the kids are on holiday, but Amelia was last week and James is this week, so she's back at college now and he's off, and we've just organised renting a storage unit for him for his business, so we're in the throes of sorting that out as well. So life's just busy trying to get everything done all at once. So once again, building everything up, and I managed to stick that ticket piece down the back before I added my borders. So I'm just going to tear them in half and add half to the bottom and half to the top because I really wanted them on top of that ticket and I couldn't face pulling everything up again. So just working out how I want this to lie. I want this red lace to lie on top of to the left of the border. I get there in the end, the notebook border. So that die, if you haven't got any of Hey Little Magpie's dies, I would recommend looking at them. They're absolutely fabulous, really easy to use, designed by me, so definitely in keeping with my style. And I just find them so useful for all manner of things on my layouts. You'll see them creeping in more and more. So just working out how I want this to fit on those background papers. And then bringing this second piece in. Now I have left those top pieces slightly too long, so I will cut those down shortly. You can see there it goes right up to the top of the page, and I don't want that. So another little ticket, this great lovely grey ticket, is going to tuck under there. And still faffing and moving things around, trying to work out where to put it on the background. And so eventually I decide that I am going to glue this stack down to those two background pieces. And at this point, I already managed to get glue in bits that sit on the white card, so things start to stick already. Now I'm just checking that everything is straight by using my T-square ruler. I just wanted to check that the photos were straight against those strips going down the centre. So there I am, just trimming the top edges off. Like I said, it was just a little bit too tall, that piece. So here are those Grove laser cut elements, and this piece that I'm just tucking in there is from the notebook die from Hey Little Magpie again, and it's cut from the same paper as that Viewmaster reel, and it just provides a little bit of continuity by adding that diagonally opposite that Viewmaster in the same colour. But I am going to cover a lot of that Viewmaster reel up because I'm going to bring some of these laser cut leaves in. I just love these and they work really nicely. This Tavern on the Green, if you don't know, is in Central Park in New York City, so having the greenery in amongst the photos works nicely for me. So just one more leaf to bring in here. I like the different tones that I've got of those two leaves and the layers. And then I'm going to add this tab at the top, and I will find something to put on that white circle. I was thinking something red, but in the end I do choose something different. Now this is where I go wrong. I stick this little ticket piece from the laser cut element straight onto the white cardstock. For some reason I think because I've got some of the ATG on the photos by accident, I think it's all stuck down, and I'm forgetting that I want to add mixed media. I spot this little red flower. It's sort of an orangey red, and I think that will work really nicely just to bring that red in a little bit more, just a tiny pop. But it's a little bit too long, so I just tear off the bottom leaves, which I can use on a future layout, and then just stick that down overlapping Ross's photo. And here I realise I shouldn't have stuck those tickets to the background. I should have stuck them to the layout. So I get them stuck onto the photo, and then decide that it's probably time to start doing the mixed media before I carry on doing silly mistakes like that. So just checking that it's stuck down, looking to see if there's anything else. I spot this little phrase that says live with gratitude. This was one place that I really wanted to go to. Ross and I went to New York in 1999, and I've been a few times with Leanne since then, and I've never made it to Tavern on the Green. So when we were walking past in December, I said, please, can we go in? And we were just lucky. They had 4 spaces at the bar. They were so accommodating to the kids, and it was just a wonderful experience. And I spotted they had champagne on the menu, and Ross let me have a glass of champagne. So it was a really decadent, indulgent afternoon. It was wonderful. So just drawing around so that I can see exactly where this mat is going to go, and then I can start with my mixed media. So I start with Bundled Sage, and I'm using one of the Hey Little Magpie dies. This is the Brushstrokes die, and I've watered down that ink, and I'm just using the stamp without a block just to get that ink onto the page. You do see the shape of the stamp, but not overly, so it doesn't really matter which of these brushstroke stamps you choose. I'm just wanting to spread this ink all over the page. Once I've finished with this Bundled Sage, I then come in with Iced Spruce and another stamp. It's the wider one with the dots at the end, you can see there. And I love the texture that this brings to the page. So once again, watering down that Iced Spruce, I dip it into the Bundled Sage by mistake. Like I say, I think my mind is just everywhere else apart from crafting, but I really wanted to do some crafting, so hence me videoing and getting this layout up. So you can see I'm just moving the stamp in all different directions and just getting that Iced Spruce all over the page as well. I'm going to add a little bit more of the ink and then add some splatters around, and then once those are down, I'm going to come in with one of the reds. It is, just trying to find it on my shelf, it's the darker red, lumberjack plaid. And I just water that down and then add a few speckles. I'm being really careful not to add too many splatters, but I just want to bring a tiny bit of that red in. And I like this because it's more of a blue red, so it works really nicely. So left that to dry, and then here's the next layer. I've just got some white acrylic paint. I squeezed a little bit too much out there. First of all, I come in with some splatters, and then I get a little bit more bold and I start adding some splodges to the background. I just want to white out certain areas just to create some more interest. You can see the splatters went everywhere. Look, it's all over my hands. But just whiting out some of those areas, like I say, just to create interest. And then I shall leave this bit to dry. Leave my hand there so that I don't add splatters all over my laser cut elements, because you can see it's gone everywhere on top of the glass mat, all over my hands. So just splodging bits. I'll add a few more splatters and then leave that to dry. Almost there. There we go. And then once that's dry, I'm going to come in with my weathered wood, which is a beautiful blue-grey. I use it often with my script stamps just to add a little bit more texture around this mixed media area. So just, again, rolling up the stamp. I'm not using a block, and just catching little areas of the script all over the page. So now I'm going to bring the block back in, and you'll see what a transformation that is with all that mixed media in the background. It just adds a halo all the way around that stack, softens the edges, and I love it. So this is one of the brand new stamps from Hey Little Magpie. It's the stitching stamp, and I'm just going to run one down the centre of the page. So again, using that weathered wood, so just adding ink to the top of the stamp, moving the stack out of the way and putting that at the top. And then I'll do the same at the bottom with the bottom of the stamp, so it looks like it's going right the way through underneath this stack. There we go. So it's, I think it's called In Stitches, this stamp, I forget now. But you'll find it under the Hey Little Magpie brand. If you sort by latest, it's one of the new stamps that we've had in. So here's another one of those stamps, and this is just like a really intense zigzag, so it'll work. It looks like you're attaching something, so I decided to add that to the left there, just to, so it looks like I'm attaching that ticket. And then another one on the right here, and then one at the top. And once again, you see, I've done it again. I think that this stack is stuck down, so I'm adding ink, going over onto the background, and it's at this point I realise, when I lift that up to glue it down, I realise, oh gosh, yes, I haven't actually stuck this down yet. So again, using my T-square ruler just to double check that everything is straight, and then I'm just going to peel up the edges and get this stack stuck down where I've added that stamping so that it's still in place. So grabbing my ATG and just adding some glue on that side, and then peeling up this side and adding glue on this side as well. I can't believe I did it twice on the same layout. So now just adding some glue to glue the other little loose bits down, like these borders that are separate from the stack, and then glue under that where I've got the stamping. And now I'm just looking through the ephemera bits from Spectrum Gardenia just to see if there's anything else I can add, and I find this little red stamp, and I think that will work nicely just to bring that red in once again, to add a little bit more interest. So just tucking that under those borders, and it works really nicely there. So next I want to add a little ribbon loop, so I've grabbed my black and white gingham, and this works beautifully with these papers. I say papers, it's ephemera bits, isn't it? I haven't really used any papers apart from the backing card and the die cuts, I suppose. So just tucking that underneath that little red flower. And then another label going at the bottom there, and that sort of mirrors that white label on the left hand side that I'm going to add my journaling to. So just popping that under there, and then a flare badge from Hey Little Magpie. This is the bird song phrases. I think it's called phrases. It's one of the fabric flare that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. So just popping that underneath those leaves. And then I wanted to create a tag at the top because I wanted to add some red twine, again, just to bring that red in. So this is an offcut from a previous laser cut that I'd used on a previous layout. So I'm just tucking that in at the top there. I've glued it down and then realised that my crocodile won't fit to punch the hole. So I have to pull it back out again. I just wanted to use the smaller hole setting on the crocodile. So punching that hole, I'll glue that back down again tucked underneath those borders, just as another layer at the top there. And I love the different tone that you get from using that. So I've got willow and, gosh, what was it called? Grove pieces on here, both from 49er Market. And there's that lovely red twine. You can use red wax twine. This is actually linen twine that I had in my stash from my sewing bits. And I'm just tying a bow at the top there. There we go. So I looked through my stash to find something to add to that circle. Like I say, I really wanted to use red, but I found a black epoxy heart and I thought that would work nicely. And then I also spotted these cameras that I fussy cut from a paper ages ago and tucked in my drawer, and it was just sitting there. So I thought that will work nicely in that bottom there underneath the photo of Ross. I tried a black tab but decided that a craft one would be more subtle there, so I'm just going to switch that out for a craft one. This is cut from my EK Success tab punch, and then I'll stamp the date onto white cardstock, cut it out and stick that on that tab. And I think that pretty much finishes the layout. So I do hope I've provided some inspiration. These 49er Market ephemera stackers are absolutely fantastic for mixing in with your stash and extending other things. So I've used Gardenia with this, and it's given my Gardenia collection a new lease of life, really. So the journaling, I just put Tavern on the Green, Central Park, New York City there, and then at the bottom I put sipping on champagne. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I shall see you again soon. Bye.